Hi students, this is Ashok MC, Faculty of Computer Science. Dear students, today our topic is classification of DBMS. Dear student, DBMS is classified by four categories. First one, based on the number of users. Based on the number of users, it will be divided into two categories, that is single user and multi-user. And second one, based on the sites over which network is distributed. This can be divided into two categories, centralized database system and distributed database system. The DBMS is classified based on usage. By the usage, it can be divided into operational database and data warehouse. And at last, database classification based on structure, it can be divided into unstructured database and structured database. Dear students, now we can discuss in detail about each one. Based on the number of users, it can be divided into two categories. The first one is single user. According to this, as the name itself indicates, it can support only one user at a time. The database can be accessed using only one user at a time. It is mostly used within the personal computer on which the data resides, accessible to a single person. The user may design, maintain, and write the database programs. According to this, a single user can access the database. No multiple users access the database. Only one user can access the database. That is nothing but a single user. Next one, multi-users. Multi-users mean a database can be used by more than one person at a time, called a multi-user. It supports multi-users concurrently. Data can be both integrated and shared. A database should be integrated when the same information is not need to be considered in two places. For example, a student in the college should have the database containing his information. It must be accessible to all the departments related to him. For example, the library department and the P section department should have information about students' database. So, in such case, we can integrate, and even through database resides in only one place, both the department will have to access to it. Next one is database. On the sites for which network is used, it can be divided into two categories, centralized database system and distributed database system. The DBMS and database are stored at the single site that is used by several other systems too. You can simply say that data here is maintained on the centralized server. The data is stored a single point, that is called a centralized database system. The data will not store individually at every point. It will store a single point called centralized database system. This centralized database is transferred to different point of users. And distributed database system. In this database system, the DBM software are distributed over several sites but connected to the single computer. In distributed database system, the data is stored in different points of location. That different points of location contained data will be distributed through the network. Next one, classification based on usage. But the usage based DBMS is classified into two categories: operational database and data warehouse. Operational database, a database that designed primarily to support a company's day-to-day operations. A operational data nothing but day-to-day operations, and present data declared as a operational database. And next one, data warehouse. Data warehouse focus primarily on storing data used to generate information required to make tactical and strategic decisions. The main difference between operational data and data warehouse is operational data is present data and data warehouse is present and previous data. It means data warehouse is a big database and operational data is small database. The present information is stored on operational database and historical data and present data also contained in the data warehouse. Database classified based on structure. It can be divided into two categories: unstructured database and structured database. Structured, unstructured data or unstructured information is a information either does not have a predefined data model or is not organized in a predefined manner. Unstructured information is typically text heavy but may contain data such as dates, numbers and facts, as well as unstructured database is not in meaningful order. We will not understand unstructured database. And next one is structured database. The structured data is that has been organized in a formatted repository, typically a database, so that its elements can be made addressable for more effective processing and analysis. A data structure is a kind of repository that organizes information for that purpose. Mainly, our DBMS follows these structured databases. Structured databases only have meaningful in order. Okay, students, these are the basic types of database.